All right. And now we'll take a look at the games we've got coming up this week. Um, I said it last week, and I'm gonna say it every week. It's just the amount of exciting games continues to just be there. Um, and there's a list. We'll start in the Valley Mission this week and work our way back and finish off West Valley. Van Nuys is at San Fernando, and that'll be kind of a redemption match for San Fernando. Try to get some good taste back in their mouth, get a good feeling against the Van Nuys team that is clearly rebuilding and looking to kind of put their chips maybe a year or two down the line. Reseda goes into Panorama, and in Panorama again, we just expect them to take care of business. And it's another learning year for Reseda. Aaron Ward's got a lot of work to do, but these are experience, and this counts. Probably the big interleague matchup. Silmar's going to travel to Canoga.
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking forward to. We know what Kennedy is in the Valley Mission. It's their league to kind of lose, but is there a second team there that can really give them a run for their money? Do they have something to worry about with the rest of the teams in the Valley Mission? And this potentially is the matchup that tells us that whoever emerges from this matchup between Canoga and Silmar, that's the team that you have to look at and say, okay, this is who Kennedy really, really, really is going to have to, put their best foot forward to make sure they don't end up second in the league. As we all can agree, it's their league to lose, but is there a viable candidate that can prevent them from getting there? I think this game is going to be the one that tells us which one of those teams can be the one to do it.
Yeah, this game will tell us which one of those is kind of right there with Panorama in a position to potentially, give Kennedy some headaches. And Kennedy is setting themselves up with one of those show me games. We talked about North Hollywood having Hoover coming up. Cleveland had Carson, and Kennedy is going to host Franklin. And when you have a team like Franklin coming into town, that definitely is a show me week in terms of, okay, how do we rank up against the rest of the city section? And this is a big city section match.
Yeah, I mean, Franklin is no joke. This is you have to be confident in what your team can do to replace your bye week or an open opportunity in your schedule to have that team come into your backyard. And you got to give Cassidy credit. They're not running from any challenges. They saw Cleveland week 0, and they're saying, hey, it is what it is. Like, we don't run from competition. The first thing that guy will tell you when you talk to him is that he believes in his group, and they're not running from anything or anyone or any challenge. And they're going to get one this week, and it's going to be interesting to see where they stack up.
Yeah, and then moving into the East Valley, Verdugo Hills is looking to rebound at home and homecoming when Poly comes in. But we know Poly is no pushover. They're no cupcake.
Poly had their homecoming ruined, and they're going to go and try to ruin somebody else's. We can't have any cake, neither can you.
No, and that's going to be what they're trying to say. And Chavez is going to go into North Hollywood and bring their brand to Smash Mouth football against that physical defense and that physical front. It's going to be interesting to see if Ronnie Gibson and Jalen Burke can break it. And if they can't, now North Hollywood is going to lean on Nate Arlauskas, another sophomore. And the quarterback is learning. He's figuring out and finding his zone in that offense, getting comfortable as a quarterback. What if Chavez forces him to pass? That defense, that's what they want to do. Get in there and shut down the opposing run game and force them to pass.
I keep telling everybody, keep telling y'all every week. And eventually somebody gonna learn today. Y'all go in there and y'all play this Chavez team. You better come ready to play some football. I get, yes, North Hollywood is really good. They should win this league. But I'm telling you, if they walk into Chavez and they're not ready to deal with them loose dogs that's coming for them, they're going to find themselves a game in the second half. I'm telling you right now, they should, when you look at the talent level of those two teams, North Hollywood should win this game by 3 touchdowns, but I'm telling y'all they not. You want my official prediction? You want my official prediction? I'm going to tell you right now. They ain't blowing them out. They going to win, but they going to limp to the bus. I'm telling y'all right now, because this is how Chavez is built. They are a hive mind of kick-ass behavior. That's what they are. They are going to come in there and they're going to take it personal that people know that this is supposed to be a W on North Hollywood's schedule. They're going to fight them and they're going to force them. Everybody who plays Chavez comes out of that game saying the same thing. They tested our metal. And this week is not going to be any different. And listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, Chavez is going to pull some great upset. I'm not saying that at all. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm telling you is Jalen Burt, get some sleep the night before. Go to bed a little bit early.
Eat your spaghetti dinner.
Yes. Drink a glass of milk. Take 3 Flintstone vitamins. Ronnie Gibson, you two. Y'all get some rest because it's going to be 4 quarters. Duarte Castillo, I see y'all on defense. Y'all too, because y'all know y'all going to watch that film. And y'all going to sit there and watch the film and say, they run 3 plays. They run it to the left, they run it to the right, and they run it up the middle. Have
the trainer and the athletic tape ready.
Put a little extra on and bring a hard hat, bring a lunch pail, bring all the tough guy cliches. Bring them all because y'all are gonna have to fight. This is the gatekeeper team to figure out who is tough and who's not. These kids are prepared. They've had a week. They've been literally practicing, pretending their poor running back was Jalen Burt, and they've probably been beating him up in practice all week for the last 2 weeks. I'm just telling y'all, be prepared. I'm trying to help. I'm telling y'all what I know about this team. Come in there ready to play. You should win, but you might get your butt kicked if you take them light. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna be watching. I'm gonna be watching. I haven't decided if I'm going there yet. There's a part of me that wants to go because you know me. I've been telling y'all for weeks. Give me a dog fight. I don't care. Y'all can have the points. I want to see some. I want to see some scrapping. I want to see 2 teams looking at each other like what you got. So I'm not decided yet because there's other things. There's a lot of business to tend to. But I'm telling y'all, this is another potential for game of the week. This could be a game that we're talking about like, boy, that was a lot harder than they thought it was going to be. Yeah, of course, because I told you it was going to be. I told you Chavez is going to give them a game. I can't ever guarantee wins for Chavez because, like I said, they are so young. They are so young. And these kids are really trying to figure out how to play football on a varsity level. And I don't mean to keep waxing poetic, but I'm just telling you how I feel about Chavez and the heart and the desire and the passion that comes out of that team when you watch them play, when they take the field. If North Hollywood don't go in there ready to play, they're going to be looking at each other like, what is wrong with them? Why won't they break? That's all I'm going to say.
That's a team that doesn't break. And the quote-unquote marquee matchup in the East Valley League is Grant looking to get on course and maybe rain on a Monroe parade. But we know what Monroe's going to bring in terms of their pressure and what they're doing to everyone else in the league. And this is Grant's chance to stay afloat. But I don't know. I mean, if they keep Jekyll and Hyde, one half they look like they can take it. Next half, you're wondering what is going on, it's going to be a repeat. They're going to look good for a half, and then we're going to look at the scoreboard, and they're going to lose by 3-4 scores. So we'll see. We will see.
Make sure they bring their fire energy and drink it up at halftime.
Or something. Or pretend that the second half is the first half and see if that helps put 4 good quarters together. But again, another situation where Grant has to understand that team you're going against is veteran laden. Chatsworth found out, a lot of teams found out. They don't beat themselves. And even if they make a mistake, they will not make another. So, and they've already learned their lesson. They've already gone through the hardships of what happened when they played our leader last week. And Senegal said his bunch, all they did was refocus, and they said that will not happen to them again. So if Grant goes in there with that Jekyll and Hyde stuff, they will not have a chance to beat this team.
No. And, coming out on rebound is a chance. You refocus, do you come back strong? Do you come back, ready to crush someone? And in the West Valley, you've got that exactly. Do you rebound? Do you come back and crush? What do you do? And Taft is going into Cleveland. Based on what Birmingham did to Taft, I don't expect Taft to actually rebound like that against a Cleveland team that is going to be at 100%. We're expecting them at 100% because all the talk has been on Corey Hall, missing the game, but he wasn't the only one in street clothes, right? I'm pretty sure there was at least 2 or 3 other players that were not dressed and were not playing. And so
and at a bare minimum, even ones that did dress were not at 100%. You could tell watching a few of their kids that they were pushing through when they didn't feel great. So yeah, another week to maybe kind of get back right and get Corey Hall back. You should see a better Cleveland team at closer to 100% full strength like they were the first portion of the year.
Yep, and then you've got a show me matchup for Chatsworth. Poor Ramo is going to be running into that El Camino team. And
man, I need Chatsworth to show me something, man. I'm frustrated because I know that talent is better than what their record is. I know it is. And I keep coming on here every week and I keep saying, despite the fact that they're sitting here at 2-4, I believe in the talent that's there. They have to get focused on playing more cohesively as a team and eliminating mistakes. You have one of the more talented kids in the entire city in your backfield. It's a disservice to what you have in that sort of talent. Kaylie saw him last week carrying people on his back. I watched him this past week carrying Granada Hills Highlanders on his back.
I have it labeled in our drive as Isaiah Ramo piggyback ride.
Yes, he is so good that if you can just play a clean game, he will carry you to the promised land. He is trying to. And I just need this team to put together 4 clean quarters of mistake-free football. And I promise you, this kid will help them upset some teams they probably shouldn't beat. The question is, can they do it? We're 6 games in for them, and we just haven't seen, even in the games they've won, they've made mistakes that you just can't, against better teams, are going to hurt you. And this is a game against Elko. Javen Hall, Drayden Fowles, these kids don't need your help. They don't need your help. They can beat you without the help. Don't turn the ball over. Don't give them the ball in your end, because you're giving them 6 if you do so. So, it's a show me kind of game, but it's also a show me game for Elko. right? The talk coming out of this is going to be you beat Cleveland, but Cleveland wasn't at full strength. So you got to go and prove that you didn't beat them because they weren't at their best. You beat them because you are who we think you are. So you go against Chatsworth and you take care of business with them too. So yeah, and this is big for them. You go and you win this game because you don't play on the road again the rest of the year. This is the last time, and they've had a tough early slate. I think they've only played the only game they've had at home. They've played most of them. Just brought the entire schedule has been on the road. They'll be at home the rest of the way. So you take care of this game against Chatsworth, and then the rest of the teams that you got to beat in Birmingham and Granada Hills, they got to come to you. So this is a game they need to go get. They need to handle business, get to 2-0, and get rolling in the West Valley and see if they can upset the apple cart a little bit.
And you just said Birmingham or Granada Hills, and I had kept them to wrap up the city portion of our Valley game. That's the one. You know, the Stanleys are going into Birmingham, and what is the Stanley show going to do? Is that Birmingham defense going to be able to shut them down? I mean, look, I don't expect Dijon or Daryl to go 4, 5, 6 carries and 150 yards, right?
Yeah, not against this team, no.
Not against them, no. They might get 150 yards, but it's going to take 15, 20 carries. And the defense is going to hold them. You know, and then on the flip side is, you know, they've got to deal with that Birmingham offense that's starting to kind of come together. Peyton Waters has been a big weapon all season. So, you know, I look at this one and I'm like, this is probably Birmingham's first big real test. And I don't think, you know, and then outside of Chatsworth, if they can't really get it together, everything's a test for Birmingham here on out. You know, you've got Granada Hills. How do you deal with that offense? And can you do something against that defense? And then after that, you still have El Camino and Cleveland on your schedule.
I'll say this about this game too, and this is something I've been thinking about for a couple of weeks, having seen Granada Hills a few times. I wonder if they've got some things up their sleeve that they haven't shown. Because if you really think about that Eagle Rock game, Eagle Rock was the first team to kind of force them out of doing what they wanted to do, which is we're just going to run it on you. We're going to run it down your throat. We got these athletes. We got these horses. We turn them loose. You have to chase us. The Eagle Rock game was the first game they played this year that put them in a position where now they were chasing the game, which kind of takes you out of your comfort zone of the things that you want to do in the way that you want to set things up. And they had to kind of get outside of what they've wanted to do. Now, how much of that was by design, right? Ultimately, the first step of what they want to do this year is you want to be the team to kind of knock Birmingham off that perch and take the lead, especially while you've got a kid like Dijon here before he's off to go be spectacular in college. While you have him here, this is the last shot with him in tow, because they've got other kids who are going to be here, but this is his shot to get them and to take this lead. Have they been holding things back offensively that they haven't shown us? Do they have some creativity that they've kept in their pocket because they didn't want anybody to know some things they may have that are going to help them, because they know they're going to have to find a little bit more balance against Birmingham. You don't want to be in a situation where Birmingham knows what you're doing all the time, because that's never good for anybody. Like, everybody in the city from here to San Pedro have found out the last couple of years that if this team knows what you're doing, you're kind of dead meat. I have a sneaky suspicion that we're going to see some things in their offensive package that we haven't seen so far this year against Birmingham to try to help them take this game. That's my prediction. I think we're going to see some people lined up in places we haven't been used to. We're going to see some guys doing some things offensively that we haven't seen before. because they're going to have to pull out all the stops. This is one of those games on the schedule where we're solely looking through the magnifying glass of, okay, you've got the talent. Are you able to knock off the Giants? Because Birmingham runs this thing out here. They're the kings of the city. Everybody's chasing them, and it starts with these guys. Is Granada Hills the team that's going to be able to bring something to the table that can beat them in the West Valley when they have beat the brakes off of everybody for a couple of years now?
I was just going to say, chasing Birmingham's like chasing a ghost, because they don't show you anything the first few weeks of the season, and then they come into league play and they haunt you.
I like I said, last year in a shortened season where everything was a little weird, and they didn't play Cleveland, but the other 4 teams they played, they beat them by, on average, they beat everybody else in the West Valley by 50 points a game. It was never a contest with any of the other 4 teams they played last year in league play. Literally 51 point. I did the math. They won their 4 contests by a combined 51 points a game. I think they outscored their competition. I think it was something ridiculous, like 217-13. They gave up 13 points in the league last year. They put up 217 on their 4 opponents. And then they came out this week in their first one, and they beat Taft by 47. And you can't tell me that wasn't them just laying the gauntlet down on the table. Yeah.
Back to the ghost analogy, they are supernatural.
Yeah. Like they can look dead in the water, and then all of a sudden we get in the league. Here's the thing. And I'm the oldest of siblings, but if you've got older siblings, right? It is one of those things where you think you're good because you're playing your friends in basketball, or you're running races with your friends, or you're playing football in the backyard, and you're like, yeah, I'm good. And then you go to your older sibling, and they're like, man, shut up, sit down. You can't beat me.
It's an older sibling. It's an older sibling energy too. It doesn't even matter how big your older siblings are, because my little siblings are all bigger than me, and I lay down.
Shut up. Me too. I'm the oldest, and my brother. I have 2 brothers and a pair of twin sisters. My brother, for years, whether it's in Madden, no matter what it is, it's always, I'm gonna get you this time, and it's like, I am still waiting. I am 40, and you've been telling me I'm going to get this work, and I'm still waiting, and there ain't a damn thing you're going to do about it. I am going to leave this mortal coil, and they're going to put on my tombstone, and you still can't beat me. That's how it goes. That's where Birmingham is, and it's going to be on one of these teams to prove that y'all can play with us, because they're not just out here to win this Here's the thing. They know how good the West Valley is. The Birmingham coaches know it. The players know it. They know that when we look at the 3 leagues, we say that that's the best one, top to bottom, talent-wise. Like that's the way it's seen. So if I know that I am the best of what is considered the best, and I am stomping y'all can't talk to us. We don't want to hear anything from y'all. Yeah, okay, yeah. I lost to Chaminade, and I beat you by 50 last year. What's the problem? Like, mind your business. Don't worry what we doing over here. Yeah, we playing Southern Section teams, and we was figuring some stuff out. But guess what? You're gonna see me in about a month and a half, and I'm gonna put my foot in your butt too. So I just want to see. I am hoping, for the sake of everybody else in that league, whether Granada wins or not, they cannot. The pressure of this game to me is Granada just can't get smoked. They cannot get smoked.
When they lost to Chaminade, they were down 16, 17 kids. Like,
yeah.
Some teams could never even play if they lost that many players. So
and part of it to me is when we examined Birmingham in that first portion of the year, we knew what it was. They scheduled tough non-league because they look beyond just the West Valley. They look at what they're going to have to deal with when they get to playoff time, because this is not a team anymore that is concerned just with they're which is another reason why it sticks in my craw as a Jets fan. They're the New England Patriots. For years, the New England Patriots, what did they do? They looked at us. They looked at the Jets. They looked at the Bills. They looked at the Dolphins, and they said, "Okay, that's 6-0. That's fine. So go ahead and hang that division title right now, because none of y'all are beating us. That's fine. We're worrying about who's going to stop us from winning another Super Bowl. That's where this team is right now. They scheduled at non-league because there is a belief in house that we know we have the West Valley. We got to be prepared to deal with the San Pedros of the world that are trying to stop us from winning open, and then we try to figure out how we can get that state too. They're not just thinking about the West Valley, they're thinking about a treble. They want that as the first stepping stone on their way to the city and then to the state. It's on Granada and Cleveland this year to kind of prove, like, hey, hold on, don't look past us. We've got the horses to hang with you. And Birmingham is, as the big brother's, like, we'll see. But this is a week. Granada's got to go do it. I think they can. It's impossible to see the things that the Stanleys have done this year and don't think that they don't have a chance to get in there and make it a game, So
that's literally probably the hardest part for me when I'm looking at this is everything the Stanleys have done brings them to this point in league in terms of making that statement. And can they do it? I want to see them do it. I want a good game. And I will walk out of that if it's a blowout and just hang my head and just shake and be like, the empire stands tall.
Yeah. But I think the resistance is coming. Because like I said, again, as much as we keep talking about the Stanleys and what they do offensively, like I said, yeah, I know, me too. I'm saying the same thing about this game. When you have Hexamer and Taylor on that line, they've got some big boys. And if you see those two son of a guns, you see them up close. The first thing you do is you go like this because they're towering over you. And then the second thing you think is, who the hell's going to block them? And that's not even talking about number 75, Sean Taylor, the guy that kind of makes it all go in the middle of that line because he's taking on double teams. So they've got the pieces to kind of play with him. And even in terms of Dijon, they play two ways. Darrell is a really good corner. That he's probably going to see a lot of Birmingham's number one receiver this weekend too. So I think they can make it a game. It's just a question of whether they can beat this team.
No, I hear you. And then I've got 3 games in the southern section that we're kind of tracking to see what's going to come out. Village Christian's coming off of their tough loss to Aquinas, and they're going to travel to Big Bear. That's going to be interesting. They're probably going to make like a weekend of it, leave on Friday, come back on Sunday. You never want to make that big trek the day of the game, so there's no way they do that. And then speaking of Aquinas, they're hosting Heritage Christian. So Heritage is going to be at Aquinas, and that's going to be an interesting one. Before we look down the road and say, hey, there's going to be the big Bible Bowl match between Village and Heritage, they got a couple games they got to figure out first. And so for Heritage next up, it's Aquinas. And then Campbell Hall, who is 7-0, is going to look to get to 8-0 when they host Viewpoint on Saturday. So just to get eyes on Campbell Hall, I might find a way to get out there and poke around, because this team is telling us by the record and by some of the numbers that we need to pay attention to them. And it's a Saturday game, so maybe we'll see. But that's our southern section slate.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, we got good action this weekend. We got some show me games. We got some tough games. Chavez, North Hollywood. That's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be good one, people. I'm telling you. Don't just think. Listen, don't just look at the glitz and glamour of the Birmingham and Granada Hills. Yes, I know the stars is on display in that game. Yes, we're running to the Stanleys. Everybody's running all over the place. The Birmingham and all this D1 time. I know. But broaden your horizons, people. If you ain't got nothing to do on a Friday night and you just happen to be in that area, go watch a fist fight. That's all I'm saying. There's good action all over the valley. And in all seriousness, yes, that's like we come on here every week and we tell you, don't sleep on any of these teams. There's a good game to be had just about everywhere because we got a lot here in our backyard. We got a lot of talented teams. There's a lot of tough-minded teams. There's a lot of physical teams. There are a lot of teams that just their kids work hard all week to go out there on Friday nights and put on a show. So I'm just saying, no matter where you are, support your local team. Support us because we're out here putting on for these kids. Like I tell you every week, you'll see me hanging out in the end zone. You'll see me down there big putting on for these kids. So no matter where it is, go support your local high school. Go support these teams and support these coaches and these kids.
Oh, yeah. And support Valley Sports Telegram, share our articles, get on the website. The more that we can get our name out there, the more reporters we can get, the more games we can get to, the more kids we can promote, the more games we can promote, show the love, we show it right back. And, we want to build these platforms that way we can talk about as many of these talented athletes as we can.
Yeah, because we need more writers because I need to be at Chavez every week because that's my school. I love that school. I love those kids. And they, and this, I'm going to pick them up, but I love all the schools. I love Monroe. I love Silmar. I love Reseda and Van Nuys. We want to have a presence everywhere. We're doing our damnness to put on for these kids. Not one a week, not just like a one little weekly spotlight, not just a little section or a little blurb where you get talked about for 10 seconds. We out here. We are pounding the pavement. We are bringing you all the stories because all of these kids' stories deserve to be told. So that's what we're out here doing.
It's our tag on our Instagram, and it should be our tag everywhere else. I don't know why I haven't done it. But, we're looking to tell the stories that no one else is telling. Because people are sleeping on the valley. People think there isn't talent out here and in, sports other than just football. But this is our football cast, and that's what's happening. And we're going to put everybody on notice, and that's what we need. We need you guys listening. We need you guys liking, subscribing, getting the word out there. So that way we can, grow this little squad that can into a mighty squad that's going to cover everybody. And so again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking the time and, spread the word the way we spread the word. So that way we can continue to do it. And we can do it in a manner where there is, no school left behind, no player left behind. Because ultimately, we look at it as we're all in this together.
Yeah, and if we want everyone to be a part of that conversation too. So please comment, share, reach out, DM, let us know what you think.
Yeah, for sure. Please leave a like on this. Please, if you're listening, subscribe. Oh, and also more important, that little bell, if you're watching this on YouTube, that little bell, that little notification, click that bell because it tells you every time we put one of these up. So you always know when we talking, we might be talking about your school. We might be talking about you. We might be talking about Chavez for 20 minutes at a time. You never know. Just so click that notification button so you always know when these things go up. So yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching us.
Yep. Thank you. And we will see you all next week. Keep fighting the good fight and enjoy.
Keep on rocking in the free world.